Alright, everybody. Sorry about the delay. Remember, I work nights, etc., etc. We're just going to get straight to it. 1960 Pirates visiting 1954 New York Giants. Last game, the New York Giants scored 10 runs against the 1950 New York Yankees. Now we've got the battle of Willie Mays and Roberto Clemente. Lineups for the Pirates. We've got Skinner in left, Grote at shortstop, Clemente in right field, Stewart at first base, Burgess at DH, Hoke at third, Verdon in center, Mazeroski at second, Smith at catcher. Visiting team for the home team Giants, flip-flopped a couple spaces in the lineup, other than that, almost the same. Williams at second base, Dark at shortstop, Irvin in third at left field, Mays batting cleanup in center, Lockman at first base at the 5 spot, Mueller in right field, Thompson at third, Rhodes at DH, and Westrom at catcher. Starting pitchers for the Giants, we have Sal Maglie, and for the visiting Pirates, we have Vinegar Ben Mizzle. Mizell, not really sure how you say it. It's a unique name either way. And again, everybody back then had unique names. Okay. Again, quick refresher. 2 points for a win, no points for a loss, 1 point for a tie. Don't do extra innings in the prelims. Second game, Group B, so let's go. First batter, Skinner, we've got a 5 and a 9. So 5 and a 9 on Mr. Magley's card gets us to a single. Skinner leading off the game with a single. We're pretending that's the base paths because it can. Yeah, we'll put him here. Second batter, Mr. Grote. Six and 5. 6 and 5 on Magley's card is pop out to second base. Next up to bat is Mr. Clemente. Of course, the Hall of Famer. A 4 and 2. 4 and 2 gets us to fly ball to right field, X chart. So, an X chart for the right fielder on the Giants is a 4. So this will be a very unique situation we got here. Got the green one today. 18. 18. So we go 4. Down to 18, roll it again. 8. 8. Safe at third on the error. So that puts Clemente at third. The runners advance 3 bases. Therefore, we have our first run of the game already. That is scored by Mr. Skinner on Clemente's error. Well, on the error by, you know. The error on that was Mr. Mueller. Coming up now, we have Dick Stewart, first base. 4-12. 4-12 on Mr. Magley's card. Ground ball, first base, C. So we bring up our ground ball chart. Ground ball C. We have a ground out. All runners advance to base. So Clemente scores. Stewart is out. So we now have 2 outs with 2 runs in the top of the first. Coming up next, Smokey Burgess, the DH. Burgess that year hit .294 in 337 at-bats, according to Stratomatic. Five, 9. Yet to have one on the hitter's card today. 5-9 on the pitcher's card is a single. Single for Mr. Burgess. Don Hoke, third baseman, coming up. Five, 3. 5 and 3. Ground ball to pitcher. X chart. He is a 1. Sal Magley is a 1. So we will grab the green die again. 20. Only a 20. 20 for the pitchers is roll it again. 15. 15. 15 out. After top of the first inning, we have 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates with 2. Both scored without the error on Mr. Mueller. We might have had a shutdown inning, but we didn't. Bill Verdon will lead off next inning for the Pirates. Starting at the bottom of the first now for the Giants, we have Davey Williams. Pitching to Williams will be Vinegar Ben Mizell. 3 and 6. So 3 and 6 on Mr. Williams' card is a single. So far, this does not appear to be a defensive matchup, although it is 1 inning. Williams is on first. Coming up next is Al Dark. The last game for the Giants. Al Dark got on base twice via a single and a walk, although he did score both times. Al Dark. 2 and 12. 2 and 12 for Mr. Dark. It's a fly ball to right field, B. Get out the fly ball chart. B. Runner is out. Everybody holds because he was on first, not on third. If he'd been on third base, he would have scored. So we got fly out by Mr. Dark. Monty Irvin coming up to bat. Monty Irvin scored 1 run in the previous game. Four and 4. Vinegar Ben's card, 4 and 4. Catcher's card, X Chance. Both catcher. Well, okay. Mizell's catcher today is Hal Smith. Hal Smith is a 4 defensively. So rolling the green one here. Got a 4. So a 4 on a 4. Passed ball, which advances Williams to second base. And he pops out. So we got 2 outs, runner on second base. Willie Mays coming up. Willie Mays. 2, 6. 2 and 6 on Willie Mays' card. Fly ball out to right field. That ends the inning. Davey Williams stranded on second base. No runs in the bottom of the first for the Giants. Going into the second, 2-0. Pirates ahead. Remember, Bill Verdon coming up to bat. 6 and 6. Pitcher's card again. Magley, 6 and 6. Ground ball to shortstop, X chart. Shortstop is a 2. 1. That is a single on the fielding chart. 2, 1, single. So leading off again with a single for Verdon. Up next for the Pirates, Bill Mazeroski, second base. One and 6. 1 and 6 of Mazeroski's card. Line out to third base. Coming up second in the inning in the 9th spot for the Pirates, catcher Hal Smith. Three and 4. 3 and 4 on Hal Smith's card. Ground ball A to shortstop. Ground ball on the A chart with a guy on first base. Double play. Ending the inning. Quick 1-2-3 inning at the top of the second. No score. 2-0 going to the bottom of the 2. Starting the bottom of the second for the Giants at the plate is Whitey Lockman. 6 and 5. It's going to be on Vinegar Ben's card. 6 and 5 is a pop out to third base. Don Mueller up to that. He was the one that got the error for Mr. Clemente, which brought the first run in the first inning. Offensively, he was a little better. He was 342 that year and 619 at bats. I don't think he ever came out of a game, it seems like. 6 and 11. 6 and 11. The fly ball to right field, X chart. The right fielder for the Pirates is a 1 defensively, and is Mr. Clemente. 10. So right fielder, 1 defensively, 10, out. Two away, bottom of the second inning for the Giants. Up next for the Giants, we have Hank Thompson, the third baseman. One and 3. So 1 and a 3 on Thompson's card. Got 1, 3, pop out. 1, 2, 3 inning. End of 2 complete. We have the 1960 Pirates with 2 runs. 1954 New York Giants with 0. Bob Skinner leading off the top of the third. Who is the actual leadoff batter for the Pirates in this game? 4 and 9. 4 and 9 on Magley's card. 4, 9, a line out to the shortstop. Dick Groat batting. He is the shortstop. 3 and 5. 3 column, go down to 5. Fly ball to center field for the out. Nobody on base, no need to consult the fly ball chart. Clemente coming up with no on, 2 outs. Four, 5. 4 and 5 on Magley's card. Fly ball to right field. Out. Another 1-2-3 inning. To the bottom of the third we go with Dusty Rhodes up to bat for the Giants. At 4 and 3. So on Meisel's card, 4 and 3 is a walk. There we go. Walk. 4 and 3 with a walk. Another base runner. Okay, Wes Westrom up to bat now. Westrom is the catcher. Four and 5. 4 and 5 on the pitcher's card here with a guy on first base. 4 and 5. Ground ball, second base, C. Since there's a guy on first base, we go with he is out at first. And Rhodes moves to second. One out now in the bottom of the third inning. And we are back up to the top of the order with Davey Williams. Of 6 and 3. 6 and 3 on Meisel's pitching card is a fly ball to left field, X chart. Left fielder for the Pirates is Mr. Skinner, who is a 3 defensively. So, roll the green one here. We rolled a 9. So outfield, 3 defensively. A 9 is a double. And the runner scores. So, we have the run scored by Mr. Rhodes. We have the double by Mr. Williams driving in the run. So we go back to second base there. Williams has gotten on base twice today. So far, the Giants have 3 hits. Williams has 2 of them, a single and a double. Al Dark coming to bat. Five, 6. 5 and 6. Ground ball, shortstop, X chart. Shortstop is a 2. 18. So shortstop 2, 18 is an out. And everybody advances 1 base. So we now have 2 outs. Runner on third. Excuse me, getting over a cold. Monte Irvin up to bat, and we roll a 5 and a 9. So 5 and a 9 on Mizell's card. It's a split. 1 to 2 triple. 3 to 20 is a single. Either way, we got a guy on third, so we're going to get a run on this one. The question is where Mr. Irvin will end up. 7. We rolled a 7, so that is a single. So we got the run scored and then the single. Davey Williams scored. Irvin with the single. This ties the game at 2, with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Willie Mays coming up to bat. 2 and a 9 for Mr. Mays. 2 and a 9 for Mays is a walk. So we have 2 guys on base now, which would be Irvin is at second, Mays is at first. Up next, Whitey Lockman with 2 on, 2 out, and 2 in so far in the bottom of the third inning. We rolled a 2 and a 10. 2 and a 10 on Whitey Lockman's card. Another walk. So we have bases loaded now. Bases loaded for Don Mueller coming up. Sorry, writing it down and I dropped something. My mistake. Don Mueller, bases loaded, 2 outs. 4 and 6. 4 and a 6 on Mizell's card. It's a ground ball to second base. The X chart. X chart is a 1. Mazeroski is a 1 defensively. $18. Second base 1, 18, roll it again. 5. 5, he is out. An out to end the inning. 7 guys up to bat that inning, tied up the game. We're just going to keep going. We're not going to really take a break here. Just want to get this out of the way. Not saying I don't enjoy this, but it was a little hectic trying to download 3 separate videos last time. We're going to do this all at once. Stewart coming up top of the 4th inning for the Pirates. 3 and 8. 3 and 8 on Mr. Stewart's card is a walk. Smokey Burgess up to bat. See, Smokey Burgess. Three and 7. 3 and 7 for Mr. Burgess. And pop out to second base. One on, 1 out. Next, Don Hoke. 5 and 4. 5 and 4 on the pitcher's card here. We've got a ground ball to third, X chart. Third baseman is a 2 defensively for the Giants. which would be Hank Thompson. So we grab the green die. One. Rolled a 1, which is an out. And it looks like we've got a double play to end the inning. Three up, 3 down. No runs in the top of the 4th inning for the Pirates. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th for the Giants, and up to bat is actually Mr. Thompson, who did that double play to end the previous half inning. Verdon will be starting the top of the 5th for the Pirates at bat. Four. Excuse me. 4 and 4 on Mizell's card. 4 and 4 catcher's card. X chart. Again, the catcher is a 4, so the odds of Thompson ending up on base are pretty high. Rolling 9. So catcher's card 4 and 9. Was the pop-up, but he dropped it, so we have a guy on first base, and my charts are falling all over the place. My vent kind of blows at the location of my table, so sometimes this happens. Okay, so we're going to count that as an error for Mr. Smith. Okay, so now we have got on base here. Thompson. Thompson is on base. First base. Coming up next is Mr. Rhodes, DH. Why is he a DH? Because he's worse defensively than anybody else on the team, and he hits 341. Rolled a 2 and a 6. 2 and a 6 on Mr. Rhodes' card is a single. So we got guys on first and second, nobody out. Wes Western coming up to bat. Nobody out, 2 on. Bit of a weak hitter at 187 that year, but he's a 1 defensively, so we can make that sacrifice. 2, 4. 2 and 4. Pop out to second base. Sorry, pop out to shortstop. Williams coming up to bat in the top of the 4th inning. He's come up to bat twice. He's gotten on base twice with 2 hits, a single and a double. 2 and 9. 2 and 9. Ground ball A, plus, which is pretty much going to be a double play to end the inning because it is an A. Everybody advances 1, doesn't matter, it's already an out, so double play ends the inning. Coming up to the top of the 5th, we have Bill Verdon batting for the Pirates. Still a 2-2 score. Four and 11. 4 and 11 takes us to Magley's pitching card. Ground ball shortstop with the X chart. Shortstop again is a 2. That is a 13. So shortstop a 2 with a 13. is an out. There's a ground out for Mr. Verdon. Mazeroski up to bat. Mazeroski's the second baseman. 2 and 9. So 2 and a 9 is a fly ball to center field for the out. Hal Smith up to bat. No on, 2 out, top of the 5th inning. 2 and 10. 2 and 10 for Mr. Smith. It's a ground ball to shortstop for the out, which of course ends the inning. After 4.5, it's a tie ball game. 1960 Pirates with 2, 1954 Giants with 2. Coming up to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Giants is Al Dark. Two and 4. 2 and 4 on Mr. Dark's card is a single. Following Mr. Dark in the lineup is Monty Irvin in the 3 hole. 3 and 4. 3 and 4, we have a split. We have a double on the 7 or a single 8 to 20. We're either going to have a run scored or we're going to have a guy on third. Remember, double 1 to 7, single 8 to 20. Looks like we got ourselves a double with a 6 roll, which scores Al Dark and puts Monty Irvin on second base with his second hit and second RBI of the game, putting the Giants in the lead with the score of 3-2 with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Willie Mays coming up to bat. Just again, I am playing basic because number 1, never really played the other ones, and number 2, there's nothing on the back side of the cards. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 on Mizell's pitcher's card is ground ball to second base with the C chart, which gives us batter is out, and it puts Irvin on on third base. Up to bat now with 1 out, runner on third is Whitey Lockman. Three and 7. So 3 and 7. So pop out to second base, so Irvin has to stay at third. We now have 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th. Don Mueller coming up to bat. One and 10. 1 and 10 is a line out to second base, ending the inning. However, we had 1 run score that inning, so the Giants pull ahead. Now ahead 3-2, going into the 6th inning. Hank Thompson will be up to bat for them in the bottom of the 6th. In the top of the 6th, we have Bob Skinner for the Pirates. One and 4. 1 and 4 is a split We're either going to have a home run with 1 to 18 or a double with 19 to 20. Rolled off the board. A 1, which is a home run. And the Giants' lead lasted about a minute. Because Bob Skinner comes around, hits a home run, and erases that lead to tie the game. Back at 3. Dick Groat up to bat. 4 and 8. 4 and 8 on Magley's card is a walk. You had a walk for Mr. Groat. Clemente up to bat now. 6 and 6. Pitcher's card again, so we go to Mr. Magley again. 6 and 6. This is a ground ball to shortstop with the X chart. And as we remember, the X on the defenser. The shortstop defensively for the Giants is Mr. Dark, who is a 2. Sorry about that. 17. So shortstop 2, 17 is a out with a 3, so that would be a double play. Nobody on, 2 outs, but we did have the run score. Excuse me. Now we have Dick Stewart coming up to bat. Six and 10. 6 and 10 on Magley's card is a fly ball out to end the inning. We are back to being tied due to the leadoff solo home run by Bob Skinner. After 5.5 now, the score is 3-3. Hank Thompson coming up to bat now for the Giants. Four and 11. 4 and 11 is the pitcher's card, so 4 and 11 on Mizell. It's a ground ball to shortstop, X chart. The shortstop for both teams is actually a 2. For the Pirates, the shortstop is Dick Groat. So roll the green die again. And we get an 11. It's an 11 on the X chart. 11 on the X chart is an out. So we've got Hank Thompson grounding out to Dick Groat to start the bottom of the 6th inning for the Giants. Next up to bat, Dusty Rhodes, who is the DH this game. 5 and 4. 5 and 4 on Mr. Mizell's card. It's a fly ball to center field with the X chart. However, both center fielders are 1s defensively because we have Verdon and Mays. Both are really good defenders, so let's roll the green and see what happens. 4. We rolled a 4, which a 4 is an out. Fly out. Wes Westrum coming up 3rd in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs. 1 and 7. 1 and 7 for Mr. Westrum is a walk. So the inning is not over yet. Davey Williams coming up with 2 outs, 1 on. Three and 7 on Mr. Williams' card is a ground ball for the out. Would have been a double play anyway, but we don't need the double play because there are already 2 outs. So after 6 complete, we have a score of 3-3 between the 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates and 1954 New York Giants. Smokey Burgess up to bat in the top of the 7th for the Pirates. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 on Magley's card. Getting familiar with that roll. 4 and 5 is a fly ball to right field with the C, which means nothing because there's nobody on base. And we've got 1 out. Don Hoke up to bat now. Five and 3. 5 and 3 on Magley's card is a ground ball right up the middle to the pitcher, who is himself and is a 1 defensively. Rolled a 2, which of course is a ground out with anybody, pretty much. Unless you get to like a 4, but not. So now we have Bill Verdon. Bill Verdon up to bat, 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. 4 and 10. 4 and 10. The fly ball, center field with the X chart. Again, both center fielders are 1s defensively. 20. Which is, of course, roll it again. 12. Roll a 12 here. Let's see, 12. 12 is an out to end the inning. After 6.5, still tied at 3. Up to bat in the bottom of the 7th. Leading off for the Giants is Mr. Al Dark. 6 and 7. 6 and 7 on Mizell's card is a walk. So we get another base runner here. Al Dark been on base twice this game. Once with a single, once with this walk we just had here. Monty Irvin. Oops. That wasn't a roll, that was a drop. 4 and 6. 4 and 6 on Mizell's card. It's a ground ball to second base with the X chart. Second baseman, Mr. Mazeroski, is a 1. Roll a 13. So 13 is a double play. So we now have nobody on with 2 outs. Up to bat with 2 outs, Willie Mays. Mr. Apple Basket Catch himself. 5 and 5. 5 and 5 on Mr. Mizell's card is a pop out to first base to end the inning. After 7 complete, we are still tied at 3. Leading off the bottom of the 8th inning for the Giants will be Whitey Lockman. First, we have to do the top of the 8th inning for the Pirates because that's how baseball is played. You all know this. Mazeroski is up to bat now. Yeah, I'm keeping the pitchers in my game. Playing basic, I don't really have a lot of fatigue, and I really haven't had a lot of explosive innings except for the one, and ever since then, it's been pretty decent pitching, so we're going to see if they can both go all the way. Pirates only have 4 hits. The Giants have 6. Both pitchers are still good. 4 and 7. 4 and 7 on Magley's card. They split either a 1-3 triple, 4-20 on a single. Nobody's on base, we ignore the little asterisks. Roll a 12, which is a single. That puts Maz on first base with a single for his only hit so far of the game, and the 5th hit of the day for the Pirates. Slowly building to an interesting finish here, it looks like. Hal Smith coming up to bat. Hal Smith is the catcher, but Hal Smith also hit .295 in 250-something at bats that season. So this could be interesting. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 on Magley's card is a fly ball to right field for an out. It's a C, fly ball C, which means Mazeroski holds. We have 1 out. 1 on first, 1 out, 1 on. Top of the lineup coming up with Mr. Skinner. Bob hit the tying home run in the top of the 6th inning, so if he does this again, the Pirates will have a 2-run lead. 2 and 5. Here's on the hitter's card, 2 and 5. Strikeout, our first strikeout of the game, and it's in the 8th inning. That's something interesting. Had a few strikeout games before, but nothing this late. 2 outs. Dick Groat up to bat. Two and 11. 2 and 11 for Mr. Groat. A ground ball out. 2 in the inning. After 7.5, tied at 3. Remember, the rules of this little tournament I've got, the games can end in a tie after 9 innings. I've only had it once, and I've gone through 2 groups so far, so I've had 1 tie in 13 games. See if this happens again. Whitey Lockman up to bat. Bottom of the 8th inning for the Giants. 2 and 6. 2 and 6 on Whitey Lockman's card is a single. This is Whitey Lockman's first hit of the day. But the 7th hit of the day for the Giants. With Lockman on first, Don Mueller coming up to bat. Four and 9. 4 and 9 puts us on Vinegar Bin Meisel's card here. 4 and 9. A fly ball out with a C, which means Whitey Lockman stays put. Hank Thompson up to bat. 4 and 7 is a strikeout. After going all game with no strikeouts, each pitcher has struck out 1 so far in the 8th inning. We now have 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, with Dusty Rhodes coming up to bat. Four and 11. No, sorry, that's a 9. My mistake. 4 and 9. We just had this one, so 4 and 9 is a fly ball to left field with a C. However, that is the 3rd out of the inning. So after 8 full, we are tied at 3. If nobody scores this inning, this game will end in a tie and both teams will receive 1 point. It is the Pirates' first game, so they will have 1 so far. It is the Giants' second game, and they will have 4 points. We have Clemente coming, leading off the top of the 9th for the Pirates. We got 1 and 5. 1 and 5 for Mr. Clemente is a single. Roberto definitely does not want to end in a tie. Don't really know if anybody does, but Stewart up to bat. Stewart. Both teams are having good parts of their lineup up to bat here in the final inning. 5 and 5 going to Magley's card. 5 and 5 ground ball with a C to second base, which is the batter is out, but everybody advances 1. So Clemente goes to second. Stewart is out. We got 1 out, guy on second base. Burgess up to bat. 4 and 6. 4 and 6 on the pitcher's card is ground ball to second base, X Sharp. Second base for the Giants is Davey Williams, who is a 2 defensively. Roll a 19. So 2, 19 is a 1. They ground out with a 1 roll, which means that Smokey Burgess is out. However, Roberto Clemente advances 1 base to third. We've got a little bit of excitement here. I know I sound thrilled. I've been talking for 53 minutes and 27 seconds. But we've got basically Clemente's either going to score and get a run in, or there's going to be an out, and we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th tied for a chance for a walk-off. 2 and 5 for Mr. Hoke. And 2 and 5 for Mr. Hoke is a strikeout, ending the scoring threat in the top of the 9th inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The 1960 Pittsburgh Pirates with 3. The 1954 New York Giants with 3. If the Giants score, the game is over. So we have a chance for a walk-off here. Chance for a walk-off. Wes Westrum coming up to bat. Wes Westrum had 8 home runs in 1954. Wes Westrum also had an RBI in the last game, so we shall see what happens here. Roll a 2 and a 10. 2 and a 10 2 and a 10 is a fly ball out to center field. If we had rolled a 2 and 11, this game would have been over. But it is not. One out. Bottom of the ninth. No runs in. Tied at 3. Davey Williams up to bat. Davey Williams had 9 home runs that season. 18 doubles and 3 triples. But he hit 222. So 5 and 8. Again, close to something good. 5-8 is a fly ball to center field out. With a 9, it would have been a triple or a single. But we didn't get a 9. We got a fly out. 2 outs to avoid the tie. 2 outs to go. One more, or 2 outs in the inning. 1 out. To avoid the tie, Al Dark has to get on, to advance the game. Al Dark has to get on base. To avoid the tie, Al Dark has to hit a home run. Al Dark hit 20 home runs in 1954. 6 and 10. Game looks like it's extended on Vinegar Ben Meisel's card. A 6 and a 10 is a single. So we have Al Dark on first base. Al Dark on first base, 2 outs. Monty Irvin coming up to bat. Monty Irvin had 19 home runs, 13 doubles, 3 triples that year, for a total of a decent amount of extra base hits. I don't want to do the math right now. 30-something. 34? 30, I don't know. We got 19 plus 10 is 29 plus 6. 35 extra base hits that year for Monty Irvin. We roll a 1 and a 4. Oh, it's extending a little bit more. A little bit more excitement. Monty Irvin, 1 and a 4 is a single. Game's not over yet. We have Willie Mays on with 2 on, 2 out in the bottom of the 9th inning in a tied ball game. So we roll 3 and 12. Oh my. Oh my. We have bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs. 3 and 12 is a walk. If Whitey Lockman ends up on base in any form or fashion in this at bat, this game is over. Give Vinegar Ben a chance, see what happens here. He had 113 strikeouts in 1960. We roll a 4 and a 6. Oh, we have some intrigue. We have 4 and a 6. Ground ball to second base. However, it is an X-chart roll. As you can see, there is some chance. We got second base, a 2. I think he's a 2, right? Second base, no. Second base is a 1 for the Pirates. There is some slight chances here that we could have some scores. Couple of errors. There's slight chances. 2 outs. Let's see what happens with the roll here. Rolling 19, which means that we roll the 20-sided die again, because of course we do. Sixteen is a second baseman. Out. This game is over. It has ended in a tie. You heard that. Game has ended in a tie. So, each team has received 1 point. Okay, so far in Group B, we have the Giants won the first game 10-3, got 2 points. They tied the second game. They now have 4 points. The Pirates have 1 point. Thanks for watching. Next game, at some point, I'm going to finish out the Giants grouping with the game against the 1950 Phillies. Thank you, and good night. Or take a nap, whatever you're going to do. Watch the Super Bowl, eat some food, drink some beer. Bye-bye.